The CSH Speak Up program is a 9-month training program to help individuals who have experienced homelessness that are now stable in supportive housing, and to draw from their experiences to craft a story that will help them to feel empowered that their story has value. And also it brings experts in social justice advocacy and homelessness and housing policy, as well as expert storytellers and public speakers come and do workshops with the advocates. Speak Up advocates come from different supportive housing programs all over LA. It brings an educational component to people who don't understand or have in their minds an idea about who homeless people are, because we've been told a story for a really long time, and we're just trying to dispel a lot of the myths that have been really strongly embedded in our culture for too long.
I'm a peer advocate for CSH. I'm here in Washington, and I was homeless for 53 years.
They have these 9 months trainings on these expert topics, and then in between those trainings they meet one-on-one individually with these coaches. And the coaches are an amazing group of people who come from mainly performance-related backgrounds. A lot of them are improv performers, comedians, actors, but they were, like the advocates, just hungry to have this experience where they could really connect with someone and really give something valuable to them, their experience of learning how to tell a story, of learning how to communicate on that level.
So as a coach, I take my experience and my skill set from writing and performing, and I work with the advocates. My particular advocate this year, Mr. Harvey Shells, and we work on creating a written version of his story, and then now we're in the phase where we're working on how he presents that story. So when he's talking to legislators or he's talking to another group of potential advocates, he's got the skills as a storyteller to be able to be effective in those moments.
I'm here to represent those who can't speak to themselves, as well as for myself, how bad we need supportive housing and how everyone should have a place to live.
Everybody has a different story. The experience of homelessness happened because of a confluence of many different elements in our systems, in people's lives, through trauma, all kinds of different things. And telling their stories is therapeutic for them.
Hi, I'm Laura Strutt. I'm part of the CSH advocacy program, and this morning we're at Capitol Hill, and I had an opportunity to speak to one of the representatives for Congress and actually tell my story.
What we do every year is take some of the advocates to Washington DC and to Sacramento to talk to legislators about housing policy, about their experiences. When we went to Washington DC last year, we had the absolute best experience visiting with a legislator that will ever happen.
Can you tell me more of your story in terms of how you became homeless and then how you got the help?
I had a 40-year addiction. I was an IV drug abuser.
Oh.
Yeah, for 24 years.
Oh.
Yeah. They got me involved with CSH Speak Up program, and I'm so grateful for that. That was the life changer right there. That was the whole thing that changed everything.
It was like a big spotlight, just kind of narrowed down onto just the Congresswoman and Dorothy, who had this animated, beautiful conversation, and she was so focused. The Congresswoman tuned into Dorothy in the way that you hope everyone will, but that I've never seen, quite to that degree.
Who would have thought that 3 years ago I was living in a tent and today I would be on the board of directors of a nationwide nonprofit.
VIKKERS, who was incredibly, shy and reserved, and the first several trainings that we had, she sat in the back, she didn't make any eye contact, she didn't talk to anybody. Through the process of meeting with her coach, he helped her, provided enough stability and pushed her enough, and now, she's speaking everywhere. She speaks to legislators, she's spoken to students, and, this last year she spoke at our CSH National Summit. I can't tell you how uninterested or how much she didn't seem like somebody who was going to be doing this, but, now she loves telling her story. She's very good at it. She's done it in probably the most diverse number of settings of anyone. And she is the first to say, let me do it, let me do it.
Hi, my name is VIKKI, and I'm an advocate with CSH, Corporation for Supportive Housing. I was homeless for 4.5 years. I lived in Santa Monica behind an old library. I have schizophrenia and I wasn't on medication.
It really seems to change the people that are in the program by showing them that they have a purpose, that they have value. It's just been, transformational on so many levels for the advocates.
Hello, my name is JUAN King. I'm an advocate of CSH. I'm here in Sacramento's capital speaking with the senators and legislators. I'm an advocate because I've been down that road of homelessness.
When we were in Sacramento this last year, one of the meetings we had was with Senator Holly Mitchell, who's an amazing advocate and champion for our program, and she met with JUAN King.
Supportive housing is just, it's giving me a destiny and a purpose. Before I didn't care to live. I was going to die in the streets. And then when I got into it, I'm like, hey, I got a reason to live. I want to live. So I put down the crack pipe, put down the beer, put down the old dirty clothes, and got cleaned up, and my thinking changed.
It was obvious that her meeting with him impacted her, and that when she talks to the advocates, it informs what she's thinking about and how she's approaching legislation. So those are things that, relationships that we really want to foster. And I think it means so much. It meant so much to JUAN and to Teresa, who she's also met with, and she's mentioned that, they can say to themselves, this work that I'm doing, it's not just this one time, or it's not just some exercise, like it's meaningful. They remember me. They know who I am.
My name is Mildred Brown, and right now I am an advocate for CSH Speak Up, and I'm here to share my experience being of homelessness.
I would say it humanizes the issue. It puts a face to the data, and people still have this idea in their heads that giving individuals housing is like a handout and they don't deserve it because they're just lazy or they're just drug addicts. And when you have someone like Sophia or Debbie or Vicky or Zandre come and talk to you, and you get to see who that person is, they're telling you their story and you can feel it. And you know that that person absolutely deserves to get some support, and that somewhere along the line, we failed them. And we get to understand that in a way that's not about blaming, that's just about correcting.
Hi, my name is Harriet, and I'm an advocate for supportive housing with CSH.
Nationally, CSH has been working to end homelessness over many, many years, using housing as a platform, but they've really branched out into really working systems change in many different communities, and knowing the stories is what's important in terms of knowing the people and knowing the issue. If you'd like more information about the Speak Up Advocates program or any of the multitude of other programs, amazing work that CSH does, go to csh.org.
I'd like to thank the SH because I'm an advocate for them, I'm a voice for them, and I want to help anybody I can help.